These are a pair of headphones that I never thought I would get, but now that we have some clear lines drawn in the AirPods sand among Classic, Pro, and now Max, I wanted to see what maxing out actually looked, felt, and, well, sounded like. And I do have to tell you, these might be the most confusingly conceptualized but pleasantly surprising pair of headphones I've used recently. So, should you max out on Apple Audio? Let's explore that, because this is Joshua Vergara. What's going on, everybody? Here's what worked and what didn't with the AirPods Max. I have to start off with the part that I enjoy the most. You might have seen on my social media a while back that I traveled for the first time with the AirPods Max and wondered if I'm that guy now. Not that it's at all weird to have any specific kind of product on you when traveling, but I couldn't just shake the feeling that this really premium pair of headphones was about as obvious as a Rimowa carry-on luggage. But I did see a few other people with pairs of their own, so I figured that the slight ubiquity that is Apple softens the notion quite a bit. Anyway, let's go back to that picture. You might notice in that picture how much I have on. A mask, of course, but I also have a hat on, and also glasses, the Achilles heels of many an over-ear headphone. Now let me preface this by saying, like with everyone's ears and earbuds, everyone's head with headphones is going to be different. And yet the AirPods Max might be the most comfortable pair of headphones that I've actually left on my head for hours on a plane. And yes, that includes with glasses on. Apple's material choices might seem a little bit questionable at first, but I think they do make this pair pretty easy on the head. The cups have a soft material that provide a good cushion around my ears, the material of which actually molds well enough over the hat and glasses combo, a combination that usually speeds up headphone fatigue in a real hurry. The result is a warm seal around my ears that helps make the sound experience what Apple intends it to be. The flexible material of the headband might seem a little too soft compared to pretty much any other pair of headphones, but that almost hammock-like form sits nicely on my noggin without pinching, even through a hat. And the hammock definitely feels really good around the neck when I'm not listening, which reliably pauses any media via the responsive ear sensors within the cups. The controls are pretty much as Apple as you can possibly get, a rotating crown and a secondary button a la the Apple Watch. But this time the crown presses do playlist control while rotating it gives the signature clicks in your ear for each little step in volume. This secondary button controls the sound modes, but holding it also triggers the pairing mode for pairing this to anything maybe other than Apple products. The metallic ear cups don't take any input themselves as it's all based upon these two buttons, and like all other AirPods, you charge it up using the same cable that you would normally use to charge your iPhone. Now, a pair of comfortable cans would be nothing without the sound inviting you to keep them on, and the AirPods Max are among some of the best sounding headphones that I've enjoyed in recent memory. All of the sound is well balanced, but I will say that these are not going to be the first choice for bass heads. For someone like me that actually likes that bump, the Max have just enough to give the full funky experience of songs like Smoking Out the Window, but I'm not getting rocked to my core in the harder hitting tunes. Larger headphones like this usually mean pretty wide sound stages, and the Max honestly don't disappoint, especially since these headphones also champion spatial audio. But personally, I don't dive into spatial audio much at all. To me, much more important than spatial audio are the sound modes, noise cancellation, and transparency. Noise cancellation, like the sound profile, are up there with some of the best. I would personally say that Sony WH headphones do a better job of actually eliminating outside noise, but the AirPods Max still do it very well, and I can easily create my bubble of personal sound during crowded long-haul flights. And if I did need to hear any announcements or talk to flight attendants, a press of the crown to pause the media and then a click over to the transparency mode opened the world back up again. But while the plane scenario is the most pertinent situation to put these sound modes to work, there are a few caveats to keep in mind. I know I'm harping on the travel experience when using the AirPods Max, but honestly that's the scenario where I would most use these. But let me say this, these are some of the hardest headphones to travel with. I'm no stranger to playing Tetris with my belongings or even making concessions so that I can bring certain items with me, but the AirPods Max have proven to be the ones I've had to stress over the most. First off, the headphones don't even come with a case per se. I'm sure you all know about this weird little cradle that actually leaves the headband still exposed like this. Say what you will about the way it looks, my main problem is that if I were to hook the headphones like this to like my backpack, the white headband would get dirty and the bulk might swing around very annoyingly. The solution I came up with for now is this very large Spigen case that has to house the entire setup all together. That's right, you have to have it in the smart case, that way you actually have the headphones in its sleep mode, and then you put the entire thing inside of this big old case. Because here's the thing, third-party cases that try to mimic the smart sleep functionality of the included case are kind of hard to come by still, so most solutions have you putting the entire thing in. And when I do that, look how big this entire case turns out to be. Fitting this in my bag has been a chore in and of itself, and if you're at all particular about how you travel with audio products, expensive audio products at that, then the Max will be quite the puzzle for the travel problem solvers. By the way, if you're wondering what these are, Speaking are not sponsoring this video, but I did also buy the ear cup covers just to give it a little bit more protection. After all, the metal on the outer ear cups could get scratched up fairly easily, so I wanted to mitigate that. Anyway, back to this whole thing. Speaking of problem solving, there are a few other parts of the experience that could seem kind of obvious but aren't totally clear. The first has to do with battery life. The headphones last for a long time, that's really no question, at about 20 hours of runtime. But you might have heard how some users perceive that there is standby drain, and it's faster than they should be on any Apple product. That's because what the headphones do when you take them off your ears is still kind of nebulous. They clearly pause your media, but in order to get them into a low power state, the most obvious move is to make sure that you slot them into the included sleeve, which I've already kind of kvetched about at this point. The other weird part has to do with wired audio. Clearly on the bottom of these headphones there is no headphone jack, and you're working with a lightning cable, which itself is not exactly ubiquitous. And the thing is, not just any cable will do the job. See, you're meant to use Apple branded cables, which obviously are an extra cost, and personally the cable that I did find to use with this is just not one I'm a big fan of. I'm just not into how thin this cable actually feels. I feel like a braided audio cable would have been a great addition in this package and would be more in line with the AirPods Max design and really the premium experience that they're supposed to provide. Now, from the case to the cable, all of these issues are solvable. It's just that the solutions require a bit of research, a bit of creativity, and a bit more of your money to actually achieve. Okay, this might be a slightly confusing thing to say, but I do have to give Apple credit, because within their definitions of high-quality audio experiences, these are certainly the headphones that do the most. They are the Max. They're obviously the largest, providing the only over-ear audio experience of all the AirPods, and they are the most comfortable as a result, because earbuds don't work for literally everyone. By definition, the larger drivers provide the best AirPod sound quality, and the battery life can go for days if you're a more casual user. Or better put, if you're not on a plane for many hours on end. But like with many Apple devices, the fact that the company self-actualizes their own products means that the term Max continues to be hard to define. For example, spatial audio might be a really cool thing to have, but audiophiles would probably rather to have codecs that move closer to what aptX HD, low latency sound, and perhaps most of all, lossless audio provide. Max could mean maxing out on usability, but as I illustrated earlier, wired connections require some specific sleuthing, and the very act of traveling with the headphones can be quite the trial. They are a great sounding and amazingly comfortable listening experience, but it's for those reasons that I find the AirPods Max are an interesting conundrum. These are a pair of headphones that somehow maximizes what some of you might consider the casual to above average listening experience, but clearly it doesn't hit the most overachieving features that headphones of this price maybe should have. Apple users are the clear priority, as the convenience and comfortable experience of actually having these on your head really drive the AirPods Max home. It's just that getting to that particular experience takes a little bit of extra work. And as I've been in airports quite a bit over the last few months, seeing that quite a few other people are willing to go through all of that to finally get to the final, good, maxed out result, I do have to admit that, despite it all, I am among them. For more on Apple's audio offerings, don't forget to check out my review of the AirPods 3 as well. Subscribe to my channel for more, and sound off by hitting the like button and getting into the comments. For now, I'm going to go ahead and call it on this one. Thank you so much for watching. Please take care of yourselves and each other, and enjoy your tea, everybody.